Hello everyone, welcome to another video with me. Thank you all for joining me, and wow, this is back to Project Daily E46 320D. I gotta say, since the last time I've done a video with this car and just driving it around, using it as my daily, I've started to kind of fall in love with it. There's so many things that's so right about this car. It's just a great bundle of fun, really. That's the best way to put it. But as you can probably tell from the title of the video, this is about doing an upgrade to the car that it really needs as a daily driver. Nowadays, with technology and as such, CD players aren't really used, cassettes are definitely not used. It's all about Bluetooth, it's all about having wireless stuff. And well, I've decided to pick up an Xtrons head unit for this car. It's basically the top of the range one that they do, where I'll put up some of the specs here somewhere. The car's gonna need it. It's being used a lot. I end up using my phone for sat nav. I don't actually listen to any music in the car, so I end up using my Bluetooth headphones while I'm in the car. And it's a bit long. It's a bit annoying to always have to do that, especially when it's not just you in the car and you've got other people in the car and you wouldn't mind listening to some music. It's really awkward. I think it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to actually driving the car around once it's installed. So without any further ado, let's jump into the box. So I think we should start by opening the box. Now I'll leave a little bit here just to mention exactly which model it is, and I'll put a link down below in the description of it as well. So opening it up, we've got the user manual, so that might be needed a little bit later. We've got all the wiring that we need, so put those over to the side. And then we've got the main head unit, which is just in here. So here it is. This is the head unit. Let's take it out of the packaging. Oh, that is going to look so good. Oop, there's the little gel things that come with it. So you got the little SD card reader here, so you can have the separate SD card. Don't think I'm gonna really use that, but it's there as an option. I guess you can put like songs into here, maybe even videos and stuff if you really want. But that looks so nice. Now comparing that with, this is the S21 Plus. There's no enough the same width, but just that much longer. But that's going to be really nice widescreen view. I wanted to go for one where it had buttons at the bottom, purely because I feel like when it's all touchscreen, it's really annoying to live with. It looks great when you're like watching a video or navigation or something, but it's really annoying to live with in terms of lowering the volume and all those kind of things. So yeah, I'm happy I went with this one. I'm going to jump inside the car and show you all what the car looks like at the moment. Now the car is very filthy inside, but let's have a look. So jumping inside the car, this is the current head unit that I have. It's basically just this bit with a CD player. Like I said, don't really have any CDs anymore. The heater control basically needs to get moved over here. And because it's a single din, it just sits on the top and then gets screwed in and it basically sits there. You will basically see how this all fits together as I go through with the installation. Now the main thing behind this video is I want to show you all exactly what this head unit is like, not just to install, but also later on I'm going to do a review with it as to how it has been over, let's just say, a month, 2 months or 3 months. Let me know in the comments down below how long you would like to see that for. But yeah, it's going to be a nice little upgrade. So first up, to fit the Xtrons head unit in, I'm going to need to remove all the panels from the BMW just to get the right access, and then we can start moving forward. So this is something that's actually easier to do from the passenger seat. So I've got my trim removal tools, and I'm basically, first up, I just got to remove this panel, which is probably going to be a lot harder to do with just one hand, but just want to start wedging all this apart. There's a couple of metal clips. Let's see if this tool will now be helpful. Whoa, okay. Okay, that was interesting. Be careful if you're using that. But these 4 metal points is what gets pushed into those 4 there. So along with that now getting pushed out, I can take this off. And this I think has been installed as an aftermarket piece. I can probably disconnect it, but it's going to leave an empty hole there. So I'm going to leave that there for the time being until I'm basically going to replace this panel, which I don't know if I ever will, because it's money that doesn't need to be spent on this car. I don't ever look at it really. It's just annoying because now I need to take it off. I'm just going to leave it there for now. I'm just going to move it to the side. So 2 screws, one over here, one over there. They're both Phillips, and I'm just going to get a screwdriver to take those 2 out now. So just take out both the screws. They're held in pretty softly, to be honest. Pretty easy to remove. Okay, and that will allow you to take out the radio, the original head unit. The important thing to do here is this has to get pulled up really hard and high, and then you'll be able to do the rest. So really got to put it out, pull it up. Gotta do this with 2 hands. Leave you all there. There we go. And I've got this one other plug on the side. That's it. That's the old head unit out. So up next through here, you basically just gotta pop out this. So you can just do it from the 2 sides. Then you got all the wiring to disconnect on the back here. So this clip, you just gotta kind of push this piece in. Oh, it's much harder to do with one hand again. Push it in, slide it around like that. And you have to be careful with this wiring because we are going to use this in the near future. So just disconnect all 4 of these, which I'm going to do now. Keep this safe and protected because we will be using it in the near future. Last thing we got to do over here is basically next thing we want to do is remove the 4 screws that hold all of this in place. Perfect. After taking out those 4 screws, that allows you to pop this up. If I just get a trim removal tool, just because I want to be careful with it, you should be able to just now release this out. So this, from what I can tell, is basically held in by these 2 little prongs at the top. So you just got to kind of push it a little bit hard from underneath, and then it'll come out and loose. You can disconnect that cable at the top, or you can just set it up there like that. This allows you to remove this cage, which if you've got a double din in here already, you probably don't have this cage, so you probably don't need to worry about this. So whoever's done the wiring for this has fed it through there. Oh, that's so annoying. Luckily you will never have to deal with this part, hopefully, so I'm just going to deal with this very quickly. Nothing that a little bit of snippy couldn't fix. So that's the cage. It's all been removed now, so you can bin this really along with all the other stuff that you're taking out. Up next, got to remove this. Now I liked this one because it's like a sunglass holder, but it's not going to be used anymore, so you just got to basically push it really far and hard from the back. I might have gone a bit crazy with that, but that's basically the old one removed. Up next, fitting this thing back on. So get the wires for this, feed them through to the bottom area here. If you've forgotten which ones were the wires, best thing to do is look for whichever ones you can. So these are the 4 that you need, and then route them through. They're normally huddled together still, so just route them through and underneath. Just make sure that you can get access to them at the bottom. Grabbing this, connect up all the wires that you needed to from before, and that will allow this to all go in. So got all the wires done. Now this basically gets pushed into here, but you have to respect the fact that it's not actually originally from this section, so it doesn't fit 100% perfectly. You can get the different units where it fits in here perfectly. but you basically just got to push it in as best as you can. But up next now, we basically got to get the new head unit and all the wiring in over here. So what do I know so far? Well, the wiring that's in the car at the moment won't fit this. Oh, that's a HDMI port. That's interesting. So it does give a little bit of an overview of all the ports at the back here. So what I do know is this is basically going to be needed. This is, from what I can tell, going to be what's needed for connecting to the steering wheel controls and stuff, because this is similar to what I had to use for the S2000. So there's a CAN bus decoder. And what other wiring have we got in here? So this is the GPS antenna. This is important to allow the head unit to work with the GPS. So definitely need that. Ideally one that's close as you can to the dashboard. That's down to you. I'm not sure what this is. This is some USB ports. This is subwoofer. Alright, so I'm just gonna play around with the wiring a little bit just to make sure I know which one goes where. So as it stands at the moment, I've had a quick look around all the wiring. From what I can see with my car, I need to use this one to connect to the original head unit. And then that will allow me to plug into this one, new one here. This I think is used for the other versions, the versions for like maybe an E39 or one that comes with a different kind of adapter. So you can see if it's got an adapter like this where you have to disconnect it from the original head unit like that, then that will be this kit. Mine's not like that. Mine's got the loads of the pins, so this is why I'm going to use this one. And this blue wire is basically for the GPS. This is for the radio. Now if you have one of the plug points for the antenna, you use this as an adapter, but mine already has this connector at the end of that, so don't need this one. A lot of these wires I won't be needing at the moment because I don't have like any external audio outputs or inputs. This one I think I'm going to connect up just for a few extra USB ports. I need to find a nice location for the GPS. Now this, from what I can see, is for the Wi-Fi, because this connects up to this point here. So then you just screw it on, and this on here it says Wi-Fi. So I'm guessing on previous ones, I remember there used to be a little antenna. So you can probably mount this a little bit closer to wherever you are sat, just to get that better Wi-Fi signal. So I might mount this somewhere hidden but outside just to get the best Wi-Fi that I can. So this is what I mean over here. This is the original plug socket, and this is the one that I'm going to be connecting this up to. You'll notice it curves around a little bit like this, similar to that one. So I just need to line that up correctly. So it's going to be like this. See if I can do this with one hand. Now it's going to be easier with two. One moment. So this is basically the full boot up session. And that's it. That's actually, oh wow, that's smooth. That is really nice and smooth. After nearly owning this car for a full year, that's the first time I'm really using the speakers. Yeah, so you don't listen to radio much in this car. Connection's not that good and stuff, but right, I'm gonna test this out a little bit. Now that I know everything works, I'm gonna clean up all the wiring, make sure I've got everything connected. So I was right about something earlier. Basically with these connectors, it depends on which model car you have, but the white connector is going to have the CAN bus section onto it, which if I find it here, it's just here. Whatever harness you use, it will have this white connection on. Just take this off and fit it on, and it will make all the buttons here work, which is what we want. That's what we like, because wait until I finish installing everything back on and play around with this. You're gonna love this. Yeah, Xtrons, I'm genuinely being serious. This is pretty simple. I just think that the explanation towards the wiring could have been a bit better, but other than that, it's brilliant. I think if you've got a little bit of time to spend on just figuring it all out, or if you've got experience with it, you'll get it done within no time. But I'm just going to spend a little bit of time just putting everything back together now, sorting out all the wiring as much as I can. Just showing you what I've done. So the GPS is up there. I've just basically squeezed it into the dashboard all the way around. I released the door trim a little bit. From here, I then just unscrewed the 4 screws that hold this on at the bottom and fed the wire basically up through here. Fed it through there, out of this hole. Once I got it out of this hole, I then fed it over through to here. That way the wiring is basically all tucked away. Nobody's really ever going to see it. And it gives it a nice clean finish, but also where both of those sensors are located, it means that it's basically going to be as best as it can be going forward for any form of frequencies. So the Wi-Fi is going to be nice and strong, as well as the GPS. So I'm just going to fit everything back on now, and then I'm basically done for today. What does everyone think? I am genuinely so impressed with that. Now, considering basically that was the old head unit and that's the new one. Wow. Right, so as promised a little while ago, so look how quickly it loads up. The only reason why it took a little while to load up earlier on was because each time I kept reconnecting it, it was basically coming from a 0 battery. But now that it's always going to be connected to the car, it's always going to load up a little bit quicker, as long as you drive the car every so often or turn the car around every so often. Obviously, if the car's left off for like a week or so, it might not be the same. But if it's a daily driver, you'll be all right. So let's do some crisp ASMR moment here. Woo! And that's the unit. Now it is really bright in the garage at the moment because I do have this light on and stuff like that, so there might be a little bit of extra glare, but it is so fast to the touch. I'm really well impressed with this. And you can probably increase the speed of it by getting rid of some of the animations. So the one thing is because I'm in the garage, it's not that great for reception. Do have it connected to my Bluetooth hotspot at the moment, so you know it's quite decent. It's just to go back, press this for navigation. I'm going to sign into my account in a bit, but it looks really good. Pretty good when you're actually driving somewhere, because a lot of the display and stuff does disappear. And if we go from there, right, so the other cool things about this is obviously this button works here. I don't know if that probably might work when I'm in like a song or something like that. It might change backwards and forwards. But the Bluetooth also works. So if you press that, it straight away takes you to your paired device. Now mine's not paired at the moment, but I thought that was brilliant. RT on here, I think just changes the radio tune. So very, very happy with this. So it's taken, I would say, about 2 to 3 hours to install. Obviously some of it was me figuring things out, so hopefully by doing this video it'll be easier for you all to do it. The one thing that I did forget to do is put the USB wires onto the glove box, so I literally did that right at the end. I found it easier by just removing all the screws for the glove box, dropping it down just a little bit and feeding the wire through and into the back here. But yeah, I'm really impressed. Xtrons, this is a really good head unit. I've used Xtrons before and I know they're pretty reliable, so I want to use this one practically daily and see what the results are from it. What do you all think? So this was a lot of fun getting installed to the car, and it's actually a really rewarding one because I'm going to literally get the benefits of this every single day that I'm in the car. It's great. It's so nice to actually be able to listen to music again in the car. You have to understand the fact that this isn't going from audio to audio again and adjusting the sound quality and talking about that. This is going from no audio because I hated listening to the radio to now actually having music that I can listen to. I can play it off my phone or play it directly onto here. You can use a mobile hotspot, which is probably what I'm going to do most of the time. I've got a pretty big data plan. So yeah, I'm basically set now with all of this, and I can't wait to take this car for a nice trip now. I need to go somewhere and just enjoy this. Also, let me know if you want to see any other mods to the daily. I am thinking of doing a nice ambient light install to it, so keep your eyes out for that, because I want to make this car really something special. But yeah, I hope you all did enjoy this video. Please do consider subscribing to the channel, because guess what? There's so much more stuff coming out with the R32 GTR, with the S2000, with this car. There's a lot going on, and let's not forget, there will be some updates with the E30. For now, everyone, peace out, bye.